Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. We have a video here on Veracity, VRA, in today's topic. So guys, first of all, thank you for the massive support in 2021. We have smashed through the subscriber amount in the last few weeks, over the 5,000 mark. Can you believe it? Which happened earlier this morning, and already on our way to 6,000. Amazing. 5,080 currently. Mental. Thank you once again, everyone. And do check out our other videos as well as Veracity, of course. Cover a multitude of topics and sectors in gaming, AI, energy, finance, pretty much anything related to blockchain and crypto, basically. But we like to deep dive into all of our projects. We're very selective, but we also do have occasionally on our community page, go and check that out, the opportunity for you guys in the People's Crypto to mention the ones you want us to cover. And, if it's something that we invest in, or at least it's something that we know that you guys are interested in, we'll, of course, continue to do videos on that anyway. So, guys, now we've got that out of the way, let's jump into a few bits about Veracity before we go into the chart. So, big 2021 for Veracity. We've seen, pretty much absolutely amazing things being ticked off here on the roadmaps. I'm not going to, not going to read out every single one of them because I think we'll be here for about 6 hours. But in general, I just want to pick out a few really key aspects for me personally, being a Veracity investor, and certainly someone is interested in taking advantage of the staking in the near future, particularly maybe in the winter markets or whatever. Bear in mind, guys, I think it's March time becomes the cycle endpoint of Veracity staking with I think it's 25.5% at the moment. That might reduce. So the reason I haven't done it is because I'm not a gigantic whale in Veracity. I'll openly admit that. So for me, it's like the use of taking Veracity fees out from the QCoin exchange to the VRA wallet. It's kind of like not much point because it would take ages for me to return that amount back. So I'm keeping I keep on accumulating like Veracity as time goes by, and certainly we'll go into the price points in a minute, but I'm really liking what we're seeing right now. So let's look at that properly in a moment's time. But yeah, obviously the massive partnerships like of Facebook and YouTube with live video support. More importantly for me was the back end stuff like this, the paintings that were going through left, right, and center this year. I think it was like every other week we saw, paintings being accepted or certainly being processed or notice given for the allowance. So we have things like the proof of view patent. We've had the NFT aspect as well, and these things are amazing because for those that don't know Veracity, go check out our intro video. But very top line right now, these guys aren't just building a watch to earn, a pay to earn aspect or view to earn, whatever. I'll get it right in a minute. View to earn aspect, but they're also delving into the aspect of trying to remove fraudulent activity through the likes of viewership numbers, and also from the NFT aspect, they put a new patent through or request through for essentially stopping the aspect of fake NFTs being made or redistributed. And of course there's the aspect of smart contract involved in blockchain anyway, but Veracity's mechanism on top, the protocol if you like, stops people from being able to do that, and you can kind of like proof the fact that you own a verified NFT or indeed an original one. And that's going to become really important because NFTs aren't just about collectibles and images and artwork, right? NFTs will eventually evolve, or are right now, to be honest, into multitude of different items that you see in the real world. Arguably anything that has a value can be classed as an NFT and then utilized as a digital transaction through blockchain, like to someone else across the world, wherever it may be. We're talking about houses or things like this as well. So the aspect of like Veracity is really important in this scenario. And I think one of the other things that was really interesting from my side was the esports stuff. Really, I'm a big gamer, as you know, and I think like the interesting criteria that they've got together for allowing people to play the games and get paid for people watching them. Obviously, you can do that through like things like YouTube monetization and everything like that as well already. But this is a whole new concept because people are going to be paid in the cryptocurrency of VRA, that then those people can then like transfer that across to another cryptocurrency, or they can just utilize it for reward mechanisms, whatever they want to do. But also for viewers, this is encouraging more and more engagement opportunities, and being rewarded for doing that, loyalty towards a certain channel. We showed you the Vera player a while back, and I was showing you a couple of videos that we were literally watching there and then, and we're getting the rewards instantly into our wallets. And then of course you convert that to either you get like the Vera rewards, and you can convert that to VRA. You can convert it into either NFTs or collectibles or whatever you want to do. I think that's really cool. And people always ask me like, what's not necessarily the downside, but like what's the alternatives to that kind of thing. Well, XCAD is another project we cover. I'm not going to go into massive detail because this is a Verasity video, of course, but powered by the Zilliqa network, ZIL. But XCAD is very similar. Gigantic projects going on this right now. Some of these influencers, I have no idea who they are, or YouTubers. Apologies if I should know who they are. But they've also announced their new roster of YouTube influencers. Do you know what? I'm openly saying this. I believe in like the tier 2 society coming soon, right? And I can see this like weird dystopian world in the future where like with the World Economic Forum, the way things are going, sustainability, diversity, etc. I can see influencers having basically in the word obviously, but more influence in political decisions, in environmental decisions. And it's kind of cool in that way because people kind of have another new avenue to go through in terms of getting their voice heard. But I do often think about this mentality of like Hunger Games, when like, there's just no jobs needed for humans anymore. So we kind of create this two-tier society, and then we're just going to go to these cities because all the rich people, the influencers, are doing all these shows and stuff, and controlling the mechanism of like, popularity and humor and entertainment and controlling our decisions for us. I know it's gone a bit of a tangent, but I'm just seeing this aspect of like play to earn and activity to earn really going down that route as jobs disappear left, right and centre. Education is going more online, and I just see a weird future for everyone. It's just crazy. Go and check out actually a few of like the Black Mirror episodes, and just that concept of not saying Hunger Games like they're going to go into arenas and some crazy stuff like that, but that just weird dystopian feeling. But here we are, guys. A lot of people I know for a fact are leaving their jobs now, their real world jobs, if you want to call them that, and just going into full-time viewing to earn, play to earn, activity to earn. This is the world we will be living in a complete new tokenomics aspect of the world, being paid to do things that you already do. Madness. So guys, just thought I'd touch on a few of those really key things that I found interesting in Verasity over the last year. Bit disappointed that they haven't got anything around 2022 yet, but I believe we'll probably have some AMAs towards the end of January. We are working hard to try and get an AMA ourselves with Verasity. I know a couple of the guys there quite well. Obviously timing and how busy they are, etc. is totally understandable, and they've got obviously roadmaps to consider as well as other project developments that are already ongoing. I think the only one they missed out on was a new corporate site revamp. They haven't got a tick box next to that, but really interesting stuff coming out of Verasity over 2021, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do this year. And it's certainly something I said I will bag every dip I see. And on that note, actually, let's go into the chart and have a look at that. Smash the like button if you like what you hear and see. So obviously we're still in a bit of a downward momentum here of Verasity. We covered this in the last video, but I'm going to throw it in there anyway because it's nice and easy to do. We'll just take this previous top end here and bring it down. A good 64% reduction if you want to go all the way down to the proper wick down here. I think it was near enough 65. So really good to see that in a way, because we obviously had these great, nice, huge runs over a short period of time. It was very obvious that we were over purchased in some areas. But in general, the nice trend pattern that we're seeing now developing, especially in these areas from July, It's almost like conducting itself very healthily. What I don't like to see massive in projects, obviously I like to take profits and whatnot, but I don't like to see gigantic parabolic runs and then parabolic drops. You're just setting yourself up for failure in most cases. But that's the market we're in, and you just got to be alert pretty much every day sometimes to take advantage of some crazy opportunities, right? So I can't be all mad about that. But what I'm loving about the chart right now, we obviously had, I don't know what's going on here, there we go. We obviously had our recent lower points back here in end of September. We tried to retest those. If you remember the Bitcoin leveraging failures and pretty much most of the other failures on the longs a few weeks back. Can you believe that was beginning of December? That's mental. We tried to retest that, and even though that was kind of like a manipulated situation, if you want to call it that, it retraced very well. But the continuation pattern of the bear move was still ongoing. We took a nice take up here as we entered towards the aspect of the end of the year, and we also had the conversation which we did in our last video with you guys, which was on the Bright Cove announcement. Sorry, the Bright Cove partnership. Really interesting and exciting esports aspect there as well. And definitely, I'm sure we'll hear more and more about that as this month goes on. But that took us up nicely. But again, we're putting it back because, in my opinion, yes, great news, great opportunity to take profits, but we've got to be realistic as where Verasity should be as a project. I think it's got a lot more development to do for us to really pull it up to a more realistic price, maybe that 5 to 7 cents. I'm not saying that won't happen through general movements of charts and trading, but what I'm talking about right now is where Verasity is in its life cycle compared to its like what we would define as the real price. Okay, so it's doing really well. We've had most of the reduction. We're trying to pull it back, but what's really interesting, going back to my original point when we've started up this chart here, is we are now testing back down these grounds. But if you look, it hasn't broken just yet this macro fib retracement level around 3.2 cents. So I'm just going to get rid of all these crazy prices on the right hand side. It looks like we're actually in Wall Street at the moment with all these crazy tickers going on. So 3.4 is where it stands right now. If we can get support over this line here, which is really good because we've had loads of volatility around this over the last couple of weeks anyway. But if we can get support here, that's going to be really good, and it could actually encourage us to mention that we might be in a more positive mood. The MACD itself switched over here on the 19th, 20th of December. So it's almost signaling the end of the bear run. Now we're going to take these moves up. But like I said, this has enhanced it quicker than we wanted it to, maybe. Or, well, I would say we wanted to. I think it's great that people take profits, obviously. But just pulling this back down, we'll go back into the RSIs again in a minute. But this aspect here now is taking us into a nice positive direction because we haven't come all the way back down here. Not saying we won't, but if we can get support here, this is where I think we can see a really good significant turnaround and jumping up to these next levels of like 3.5. That golden number, I always loved that 3.7 cents mark in Veracity because I think that's a really encouraging area for us to be in and get support at. If we can get that, we can start building momentum to the 4 cent mark. It's late here, guys. I've been doing like things all day. So that's very much where we think it's going to be. We've already had the influx of purchasings, as we mentioned, since around this sort of 19th, 20th December. We had a bit of a cool off right now. So really we're going to be testing this. This is what I'm mentioning about getting support here, because I think we'll probably get a narrow line on this macro MACD level, hopefully we won't switch back over into a bear mood, but I think we could easily get a potential second wave of influx of price, and that's where I think we'll hit the 3.7 and beyond quite well over these next few weeks, in my opinion. And on the RSI, obviously great opportunities over the last couple of weeks to be bagging Veracity at lower price points. Am I mad at getting it right now? Absolutely not. If we look at the 14-day, very nice low number. So in a couple of weeks' time, I expect to make some good trade opportunities on the way up in those couple of weeks coming. But more importantly, from my aspect in terms of where we are in the market and hopefully the upcoming bull runs in the next few months, touch wood, these RSI points at 28-day, 42. Very, very juicy, very nice. and the 90-day at 48, slightly top heavy. I would like to see that come down a bit more, but we've got to respect that's actually quite good in the sense that it's being very well maintained and sustainable over a long period of time, because it's a lot higher back here at 60. So for me, the 28-day and the 14-day are very, very important numbers to be looking at right now. I'm buying as much as I can of Verasity at these prices. Yes, it could come down lower, but I think the risk is reduced significantly, especially at these RSI indicator levels. And it's giving more of an opportunity on the uprise, but also giving me opportunity to really identify when to take profits. And then for me, for example, particularly in a 2-week period or even the 28-day, if that starts getting towards the 60/70 mark, I will definitely be taking a good percentage out, and then incremental values above that if we end up going into that kind of move. But I do really honestly believe like that turnaround, that full turnaround, is going to not just be immediate. I think it's going to be something that takes the next few months as the world gets a bit more confidence and everything. We don't know what's going on here in the UK. Who knows what's going on with these absolute clowns running our country? Everything changes every 5 seconds. No one knows what they're talking about. We're using data from computers and not humans anymore. I don't know what's happening. So you just got to anticipate, guys, that what's going on around the world. It's all very well looking at charts and all very well looking at projects and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, this is people's money, right? And money is very much also influenced by external factors. I'm talking about jobs. I'm talking about people spending or not spending, and where if they do have spare money, it can be invested. But a lot of people might take it out because of fear. You just got to be aware of these things, okay? But we'll be with you guys to mention these kind of things as they go along. But here in the UK, it might be different elsewhere. If you have Mad Hatter's Tea Party governments like we do, tell us in the comments below, because I think it's an absolute atrocity. I don't know who's voted these people in, but hey ho. 1 week, 16% down. 1 month, 31% down. So this is what I'm mentioning. It feels like we're coming out of that because the number's a bit higher, I think, in the last video. So it's slowly but surely dragging us back into a positive momentum. But that's why I said probably going to be about 2 or so months to really see the result of the run coming forwards in a positive way. Because this move here, I mean, this move downwards started beginning of November. And we're only at the beginning of January now. So very much 2 months ago, that was occurring on the drop down. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe in a month or two's time, we might see ourselves back up here. Who knows? 7 to 8 cents would be fantastic. I would love to see that by the end of January. But like I said, we've just got to be cautious of all the things going on. But in general, it's nice to see Verasity moving up in a more positive direction, albeit it doesn't look very nicely shaped at the moment. But the important factor is that we're moving slowly in the good direction. So let us know in the comments below. If you're holding Verasity still, what are your plans for Verasity moving forward? What do you think the price could be throughout 2022, particularly in the end of the bull run, if that ever actually happens? Who knows when it's going to happen? We've just got to take things day by day, right? So do let us know. And also do let us know if you have clown governments as well. I always love to hear that. So thanks for watching, guys. We will catch up with Verasity early next week, and certainly when we start seeing a bit more information coming out of Veracity's marketing channels in the days or weeks to come. And hopefully we'll have more information about an AMA, not necessarily through us with them, but an AMA in general. Maybe they have some more exciting updates for us, and hopefully they'll update the roadmap for the next video as well. We'll see you in the next Verasity video. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.